Just when we thought things couldn't get messier between Mendeecees Yandy and Erica Mena, boom, the internet explodes with something no one was ready for. Leap intimate clips allegedly showing Mendeecees and Erica together are now making rounds online. And fans are going absolutely wild. Is this the real reason Yandy finally filed for divorce after weeks of chaos from Erica's pregnancy rumors? The shocking DNA results confirming Mendeecees is the father and Yandy's emotional breakdown following. The reveal, this latest twist, has taken the drama to unthinkable levels. People are asking, did Yandy already know about these videos? Were these tapes the final nail in a marriage that was already hanging by a thread? Social media is in full meltdown mode. Some fans say Yandy looked too calm during her last public appearance, almost as if she had seen this betrayal coming. Others are demanding answers from both Erica and Mendeecees, and meanwhile, Yandy dead silent. We're not saying the clips are real, but if they are, this changes everything. Stay with us as we unpack every messy, emotional, and dropping detail that's got the entire reality TV world in flames. The morning began like any ordinary day. The sun rose quietly over Atlanta, casting a warm glow on the streets below. Everything seemed calm, but in the world of celebrity drama, peace never lasts long. Within a few hours, the internet exploded. An anonymous Twitter account dropped a short granny clip that looked like nothing at first, but those with sharp eyes recognized familiar faces, a man and a woman in what appeared to be a luxury hotel room. They weren't just talking, they were touching, whispering, lawing intimately. And the man, it was unmistakably Men's Harris. The woman, Erica Mena. Within minutes, the clip spread like wildfire. Instagram stories, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, every platform carried the footage. It was blurry, sure, but the voices, the tattoos, the rings, even the way Mendeecees smiled, it left little room for doubt. Fans became detectives, zooming into frames, comparing recent photos, and even matching furniture seen in past posts. People weren't just shocked, they were enraged. The betrayal felt personal to many who had rooted for Yandy and Mendeecees. During their years on reality TV, Yandy supporters were quick to come to her defense. Many of them remembered how she had held it all together while Mendeecees was away, how she took care of their children, managed the household, and defended his name. During his legal troubles, to see it all crumble over a scandalous video broke hearts across the country, and yet not a word came from her. No statement, no denial, no confirmation to silence, but behind the scenes, things were far from quiet. According to a close family friend, Yandy had known about the videos before they leaked. She had been sent them anonymously 2 weeks prior. Reportedly, she watched them alone in her bedroom behind a locked door with tears running down her face. She didn't scream, she didn't throw anything. She just sat there frozen. The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. It shook her sense of loyalty, trust, and years of shared dreams. The same source shared that after watching the footage, Yandy didn't speak to Mendeecees for 3 straight days. She slept in the guest room, she canceled the public appearance. And then she started making quiet moves. She reached out to a lawyer. She began compiling financial records. She even changed the locks to her personal office in the house. It was the behavior of someone who wasn't planning a fight. She was preparing an exit. When the video finally went viral, Yandy was prepared. She wasn't blindsided. Instead of reacting emotionally, she stayed offline. Her silence was her loudest statement. She allowed the world to draw its own conclusions while she focused on protecting her children. Her team immediately increased security at her home. Paparazzi were already gathering outside her driveway. News vans parked across the street, but inside the mood was somber, focused, determined. Mendeecees, however, handled things differently. He was spotted the very next night at a lounge in downtown Atlanta, laughing and sipping drinks like nothing had happened. No apology, no public remorse. Some say it was his way of coping. Others believe he simply didn't care. Either way, the optics were terrible, especially when paired with rumors that he had been warned about the leak. Days before it happened, someone had messaged him anonymously, warning him that they're coming for your marriage. Protect it while you can, but he ignored it, laughed it off. Erica Mena, meanwhile, vanished. She didn't post, didn't respond, didn't acknowledge anything but silence in a scandal. Like, this can speak volumes, and the internet was ruthless. People dug through old photos trying to spot clues. Suddenly, a picture from months ago where Erica and Mendeecees were both attending the same event previously seen as coincidence was now evidence. Every glance, every hand gesture was scrutinized. Then came the next bombshell. Screenshots of private dens allegedly between Erica and her former assistant surfaced online in them. Erica admitted that she and Mendeecees had a moment of weakness. While working on a secret brand project, she claimed it was supposed to be a one-time thing, but feelings got messy. When the assistant asked if Yandy knew, Arab's reply was chilling. She does now. The footage reached her. I feel terrible, but it's too late. The messages were enough to break the internet all over again. Influencers been dissecting the timeline. Gossip channels ran hour-long breakdowns. Fans pulled up clips from Love and Hip Hop episodes where Erica and Yandy had sided each other. Now it all made sense. The tension, the awkward energy, it was never just television drama. It was real. In the midst of this media circus, a photo emerged of Yandy leaving a family therapist's office with her son. He looked small, his head down, while she held his hand tightly. Witnesses say she whispered, "You're safe, baby, mommy's right here." It broke the hearts of fans everywhere. The story wasn't just about infidelity anymore. It was about a mother trying to keep her children whole while the world watched her fall apart. What made it all even more complicated was that Infinity Yandy's adopted daughter had recently reconnected with the family after a rocky past. They were just beginning to heal now that healing was in jail, party insiders claim. Yandy has already started the process for full custody of both children, not out of spite but protection. She no longer trusts the man she once called her partner. One relative revealed that Mendeecees has been trying to reach Yandy ever since the leak, but she's blocked him on everything. He showed up at her office unannounced, but was turned away. He left the letter with the receptionist handwritten, saying he was sorry for breaking everything. Yandy hasn't read it. She told her team if he was sorry, the video wouldn't exist. "I'm done with apologies." Still, not everyone is convinced this is the end. Some insiders believe Mendeecees will try to fix things, not because of love, but because his image is on the line. The brand deals, the show, contracts, the public persona, all of it depends on redemption, but whether Yandy will give him that chance, that remains uncertain. What is clear is that she's not waiting. Her focus now is her children, her peace, and her future. For years, she was the one who defended Mendeecees when no one else would. She held down the family. She played the role of loyal wife even when it hurt, but now she's choosing herself. And just when fans thought the drama couldn't get any deeper, a leaked phone call surfaced. In the midst of this media shows, something shifted inside Yandy. She had spent years building her public image as a devoted wife, a hardworking mother, a loyal friend, and a strong woman who stood tall through every storm. And now, with the world watching her marriage fall apart in real time, she decided to do something different. Instead of hiding behind carefully crafted posts or releases, she chose to face it, not with words, but with action. Sources close to Yandy revealed she began recording her thoughts privately on her phone late at night after putting her kids to bed. She'd sit in the dark and talk into her camera. No filters, no makeup, just raw emotions. She wasn't sure what she'd do with the footage, but something told her she might need it later. Not just for herself, but for other women who've gone through the same silent heartbreak. She spoke about how betrayal feels like slow poison. How the real pain isn't in the cheating, but in the disrespect that follows. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was slowly realizing the magnitude of the situation. His public image was in flames. Fans who once praised him for turning his life around were now flooding his comment sections with disgust. Brands that had been in talks for partnerships suddenly went silent. Even some of his closest industry friends distanced themselves quietly. One by one, bridges were burning, and he had no water to put the fires out. One of the most shocking moments came when Mendeecees tried to reach out to Yandy during a church event she attended with her children. He arrived unannounced, Wearing a suit, holding a bouquet of flowers, cameras were everywhere, but Yandy didn't flinch. She refused to even speak to him in front of the crowd. Later that evening, a clip surfaced, showing her walking past him without making eye contact, holding her daughter's hand. The message was loud, and clear. She was done with public performances. She wanted accountability, not Beatrix. And just when people thought the situation couldn't escalate further, an audio recording was leaked. A phone call between Mendeecees and one of his close friends was captured where he reportedly said, "I didn't think it'd blow up like this. I thought she'd forgive me like before." The implication that this wasn't the first betrayal hit hard. Fans felt betrayed themselves. Was the wholesome love story they'd supported for years just a carefully edited delusion? Back at home, Yandy wasn't just planning her next move. She was protecting her legacy. She had several business ventures, and she began ensuring all legal documents were in her name. Only she updated her will, signed a postnuptial agreement with the help of her attorney, and even began writing a personal memoir about the silent sacrifices women make in the name of love, according to someone from her publishing circle. The first few chapters were brutal, honest, emotional. It wasn't about revenge, it was about truth. On the other side, Erica Maya had resurfaced briefly in a vague Instagram story, a black screen with white text. "We all make mistakes, but some mistakes come with consequences." It was taken down within an hour, but screenshots spread instantly. Fans speculated whether it was a confession, an apology, or just an attempt to control the narrative. Either way, it added fuel to the fire. People began to wonder, was this more than just an affair? Was there an actual emotional relationship or feelings involved? The gossip got darker when an insider claimed that Mendeecees had been secretly meeting Erica for over 6 months. Their alleged rendezvous were planned during business trips and away shoots. Sometimes they met in hotels, sometimes in private homes of mutual friends. If true, this wasn't a slip, it was a full-blown double life. And what hurt most was the realization that during those very months, Yandy had been planning a surprise anniversary gift for him. She had commissioned a custom painting of their family. It now sat in her closet untouched. Friends close to Yandy noticed a change in her. She wasn't crying as much anymore. She wasn't a skingui me. She had shifted into a new emotional gear, one of clarity and resolve. She began spending more time at women's empowerment events, giving impromptu speeches, sharing little pieces of her journey without naming names. But everyone knew who she was talking about. Her strength inspired thousands of women to share their own stories. Overnight hashtags like #StayMyWithAndy began trending. But Mendeecees wasn't ready to let go privately. He begged for forgiveness. He sent long messages, voice notes, even letters, hepromised therapy, accountability, honesty. But Yandy had heard it all before. The promises, the tears, the temporary changes. She needed more than words. She needed proof, and so she set a boundary. If he truly wanted to fight for his family, he needed to stay out of the spotlight completely. No parties, no interviews, no photo ops, just silence and consistency. What followed was a strange few weeks of complete quiet. Mendeecees vanished from social media. No posts, no comments, no Devon. A story for the first time in years. His digital footprint went cold. Fans speculated endlessly. Was he really trying to change? Or was he just hiding until the drama passed? Meanwhile, Erica faced backlash from every corner of the internet. Her past controversies resurfaced. Old tweets were dug up, and she was painted as a serial homewrecker. Petitions were started to remove her from certain shows. Sponsors pulled out. Even her closest friends stopped defending her publicly. She tried to issue a formal statement through her manager, but it was met with even more criticism. At this point, silence seemed like her only option. Then came the twist. No one expected. A former friend of Mindy's leaked private photos, screenshots of text messages between him and a third woman, someone who wasn't Yandy or Erica, someone completely new. In the messages, he flirted, choked, and even hinted at traveling together. The timestamps were recent enough to confirm that even while his marriage was crumbling, he hadn't stopped playing dangerous games. The betrayal wasn't just deep, it was layered. When Yandy saw those screenshots, according to a family member, she didn't cry, she didn't scream, she simply said, "He's not broken, he's rotten." And that was when she made her final decision. She contacted her lawyer and began the official separation process. It wasn't impulsive, it wasn't emotional, it was strategic. She wasn't just leaving a man, she was protecting her peace. The story had reached a boiling point. Fans were glued to their screens waiting for the next update, the next twist, the next fallout. But Yandy had gone quiet again, time not out of pain but power. She was reclaiming her voice one silent step at a time. And as the world waited for a final statement, a public closure, or maybe even a divorce announcement, whispers began circulating about something even bigger on the horizon. Something that could shake the industry even more. Something only Yandy knew. And she was about to reveal it soon. No parties, no social media posts, no interviews, just silence and actions. Yandy wanted to see if Menz could humble himself and rebuild trust in private. Far away from the performative world they had been trapped in for years, it was a test, and for the first few weeks he seemed to pass. He stayed away from cameras, canceled club appearances, and reportedly started attending private counseling sessions. But even in his effort to heal the shadow of the scandal, loomed large people whispered behind their backs, and the internet never forgot. Every time Mendeecees was spotted, anywhere speculation followed. Was he really changing? Or was this just another show? While Mendeecees tried to prove he was evolving, Yandy focused on her own journey. She reconnected with friends she had once pushed away during the reality TV chaos. She traveled with her children, giving them new experiences and reminding herself of what truly mattered. For the first time in a long time, she wasn't operating from damage control, she was leading with peace. The world began to see a different Yandy, calm, confident, and glowing, and that terrified Mendeecees more than anything. He realized she was learning how to live without him, but just when it seemed like the dust might finally settle, a new storm erupted. A private email thread between Mendeecees and a high-profile event organizer was leaked to a gossip blog. In the emails, he referred to the entire cheating scandal as a publicity mishap and even pitched ways they could leverage the buzz for mutual brand growth. The casual, populated tone was shocking. It contradicted everything he had been doing publicly. His apologies, his silence, his supposed accountability. When Yandy read the messages, she didn't scream or cry. She sat with her phone in silence, the betrayal sinking deeper than ever before. This time, there was no argument, no dramatic confrontation. She simply disconnected. She stopped answering texts, ignored calls, and didn't respond to the flowers or letters he sent. Her silence was louder than any fight they'd ever had. Mendeecees was panicked. He showed up to her office unannounced. He tried getting to her through friends, even family members, but the doors had closed emotionally, spiritually, and possibly for good. She had given him a final chance, and he turned it into another performance. The media caught wind quickly. Headlines speculated on unofficial separation. Paparazzi hovered outside their shared secured home, hoping to capture a moving truck or a tearful goodbye. Gossip sites exploded with rumors, divorce filings, custody battles, even secret court visits. One particularly aggressive outlet claimed they had proof Yandy had filed for sole custody. Although no confirmation ever came, the public treated it as truth. Fan pages erupted. Some blamed Mendeecees, others questioned Yandy's coldness. The digital battlefield was chaotic then, as if things weren't bad enough. Another woman came forward, this time not Erica, not the Atlanta scandal, someone new she claimed she had been seeing. Mendeecees casually during the same months he was supposedly working on his relationship with Yandy. She posted screenshots of flirty texts, pictures of gifts he'd sent, even a short video of him entering her apartment late at night. Although Mendeecees' team labeled her a cloutchaser, public opinion was already leaning toward belief. The timeline didn't help him. It lined up too neatly with pros. DC, with the supposed healing period, Yandy, still silent, delivered her response in the most powerful way through presence. She posted a video on Instagram showing her journaling in a park, her kids playing in the background. No words, no music, just peace. The video was only 20 seconds long, but it reached 5 million views in one day. Comments flooded, and fans praised her grace, her strength, her refusal to engage in the circus. Women from around the world began sharing their own stories, tagging Yandy and calling her an inspiration. This sudden wave of support caught the attention of the Tay network behind their show. Desperate to capitalize on the buzz, they offered a special and exclusive sit-down between Yandy and Mendeecees film documentary. Style no host, no cuts, just the two of them talking things out on camera. The network promised full creative control, hoping it would become one of the highest-rated episodes ever. Mendeecees immediately agreed. Yes. He saw it as a chance for redemption, not just with Yandy, but with the public. He even started scripting what he'd say, imagining how he could win back hearts and headlines at the same time. But Yandy wasn't interested. She politely declined. She didn't want closure in front of cameras. She had already found her healing off-screen in a conversation with a close friend. She said, "Why would I reopen wounds just to feed a machine that lives off pain?" Instead, she decided to speak in her own way. She organized a private women's healing event. No press, no phones, just raw, honest conversation. The event sold out in minutes. Women flew in from multiple cities to attend. And when Yandy spoke that night, she didn't bash men. She spoke about patterns, self-worth, boundaries, and the strength it takes to walk away from what you once begged to keep. Her words echoed across social media in the days that followed, even though the event was private. Attendees wrote heartfelt posts about how her story had changed them. And just like that, Yandy became more than a reality star. She became a symbol of silent strength. Brands began to approach her for collaborations that had nothing to do with drama. She launched a podcast focused on healing and self-growth, and the same platforms that once capitalized on her heartbreak now wanted to celebrate her evolution. Meanwhile, Mendeecees found himself in unfamiliar territory: irrelevance. The drama that once kept him in headlines had turned into quiet disinterest. Fans who once cheered for him now barely acknowledged his posts. Club bookings dried up, interviews were canceled. Even his attempts to pivot into motivational speaking felt flat. People weren't buying it anymore. He had burned the bridge too many times, and the audience, once so forgiving, had finally stopped watching. Yet the most painful part for him wasn't the loss of fame or money. It was watching Yandy thrive without him, seeing her build a new life, one that no longer needed his name attached to it. Every success she achieved, every non-com gay, every moment of joy she shared served as a reminder of what he had lost: not just a wife, but a legacy they could have built together. The final blow came quietly. A court clerk accidentally leaked that Yandy had legally changed her last name back to her maiden name. She hadn't made a public announcement. There was no fanfare, just a silent official step into her new life. The internet exploded. Fans debated what it meant. But to those who had been paying attention, the message was clear: she wasn't just healing, she was moving on. And as she continued to rise, hosting seminars, launching new ventures, and mentoring women behind the scenes, Mendeecees watched from the sidelines. He tried to reach out one last time, an old photo of the family sent with a caption that simply read, "I miss this." He never got a reply, and he knew he never would. Not because she hated him, but because she had finally learned to choose herself. And that's where the real story was no longer about betrayal, but about rebirth. She didn't bash Mendeecees. She didn't need to. Her story, her presence, and her truth spoke volumes. When she talked about betrayal, the room fell silent. When she described the weight of having to constantly be the strong one, many in the audience began to cry. She talked about rebuilding, not just her life, but her spirit. She admitted that she didn't have all the answers, but she was finally asking the right questions. She didn't position herself as a victim or a survivor, just a woman who had finally chosen herself after years of sacrificing for others. The women in Intim applauded not just her strength, but her vulnerability, and by the end of the night, it was clear that Yandy had stepped into a new phase of her life. One that didn't revolve around being Mendeecees' wife, or a cast member on a reality show, but simply Yandy, a woman healing, growing, and standing tall without the need for validation from the media or her past. Word of the event spread fast, even without media coverage. Blogs picked up testimonies from attendees. Clips secretly recorded by someone in the audience went viral suddenly. Yandy wasn't just trending, she was being celebrated. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was watching all of this unfold from a distance. He saw the respect Yandy was earning. He saw how people began to talk about her not just as a reality TV personality, but as a thought leader, a woman of influence. And instead of feeling pride or support, he felt panic, because in her rise, he saw his own irrelevance growing the more she stepped into her light, the more people began to question his place in her story. Was he just a chapter she had now closed in an attempt to reclaim control? Mendeecees took to social media. He posted a long message claiming he was ready to speak his truth. He announced an upcoming YouTube documentary titled The Other Side of Love, where he promised to reveal what really happened between him and Yandy. The teaser trailer included dramatic black and white shots of him staring into the distance, slow piano music, and clips of old interviews stitched together with captions like "You think you know, but you don't." The internet reacted with mixed emotions. Some were curious, others were angry. Many accused him of turning his mistakes into marketing. Even Yandy's name was used in the title of the project, though she had never agreed to be involved. People began to see the contrast more clearly now. While Yandy moved forward quietly and with dignity, Mendeecees seemed stuck in a loop of chasing attention. He was still treating life like a show. The documentary dropped, and while it racked up views, the response was underwhelming. Instead of offering genuine insight or accountability, it came off as defensive and self-serving. He deflected blame, questioned the loyalty of those around him, and even hinted that Yandy had been cold long before the cheating. One quote particularly ignited backlash. Sometimes, when a man feels unappreciated, he looks for warmth elsewhere. Social media exploded. People accused him of gaslighting and manipulating the narrative. Major outlets ran think pieces on emotional abuse and accountability in relationships. Mendeecees had hope for redemption, but ended up further alienating himself while this reputation took another hit. Yandy kept growing. She partnered with the wellness brand to launch a mental health campaign focused on women of color. She was invited to speak on panels, podcasts, and I've received a call from a university that wanted her to host a seminar on healing after public betrayal. She never spoke negatively about Mendeecees in any of these appearances. Her power came from her peace, but the story wasn't over yet. In a twist no one saw coming, Mendeecees was served with legal papers. Yandy had officially filed for separation. Although she didn't announce it publicly, the documents leaked and it became official. Headlines read, "Yandy finally walks away. No more love, just peace." And mind blipped. In the past, the internet celebrated her decision, calling it brave and overdue. Celebrities and influencers reposted the story, adding messages of support. It wasn't just a breakup, it was a cultural moment. People saw it as a symbol of reclaiming one's power. Mendeecees didn't respond immediately. Perhaps for the first time, he realized there was nothing left to say. No more posts, no more specials, no more apologies. The door was closed, and this time Yandy was the one who closed it, not out of anger but self-respect. She wasn't punishing him. She was choosing herself, and in that choice, she inspired thousands of others to do the same. Months passed, and slowly the noise began to fade. The paparazzi stopped following. Mendeecees' blobs moved on to other scandals. The spotlight dimmed and reality set in. He was now just a man living with the echoes of what he lost. He still loved Yandy, perhaps more than ever. But he had broken something that could no longer be fixed. He finale hunters that redemption isn't earned through a social media post or a documentary. It's earned through consistent, humble change, and sometimes even that isn't enough. As for Yandy, she continued to thrive. She launched a foundation for young girls, expanded her businesses, and began writing a book. It wasn't a tell-all. It was a guide to healing boundaries and self-worth. And although she didn't say his name once in the manuscript, every word felt like a response to the years of pain and growth she had endured. She wasn't bitter. She was better, and she had turned her pain into purpose. In the final chapter of her book, she wrote, "Sometimes love is loud, messy, and unforgettable, but sometimes the greatest love is the one you give yourself when no one else knows how, and that love, quiet, steady, and free, is the kind that lasts." And with that, the story of Yandy and Mendeecees didn't end with a reunion or a tea comeback. It ended with a woman choosing peace, a man facing his truth, and a public learning that not all stories need a happy ending to be powerful. Some just need to be honest. The intense drama between Erica, Mina, Mendeecees, and Yandy Smith has taken the internet by storm, from leaked intimate clips to heated confrontations, and now Yandy's shocking decision to file for divorce. Fans everywhere are left wondering what really went down behind closed doors. We have followed this story closely, connecting the dots between the pregnancy revelations, the dinner test confirmation, and now these new developments that have everyone talking. But what do you really think? Is this the real reason Yandy decided to walk away? Or is there more to this complicated story that the cameras and headlines aren't showing us? We want to know your thoughts and opinions on this explosive saga. Do you believe that these leaked clips are genuine? Or could they be part of a carefully crafted plan to stir up drama? How do you feel about Mendeecees and Erica's relationship after everything that has happened? Do you think Yandy's decision to file for divorce was the right move, or should she have tried to work things out? Your voice matters, and we encourage you to share your take in the comments below. Join the conversation, connect with other fans, and let's discuss the twists and turns of this unfolding reality T-drama. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the drama surrounding Mendeecees, Erica, and Yandy, please give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us bring you more exclusive updates, juicy stories, and behind-scenes insights. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We've got more shocking reveals, fake news updates, and celebrity drama coming your way that you won't want to miss. Thank you for watching, and remember, this story is still evolving. Stay tuned for our next video, where we will bring you the latest updates and possibly even more surprises. Until then, keep following us for your daily dose of entertainment and reality. To have drama, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your comments below. We love hearing from you and reading every single opinion. So what do you think? Is this the end of the road for Mendeecees and Yandy? Or could a shocking reconciliation be on the horizon? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: this story is far from over, and we'll be here to bring you every detail as it happens.